Sharia will be very keen to practice this particular law. And with me. Yeah? So here is the deal. I'm going to show to you how the God of the Bible is against this principle.
Yeah, you can't divorce the Bible.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? What's your point?
No, you can't.
Because you have got 500 Bibles now, as far as I know.
Please hold on to this thought.
And if you want to go to the British Museum,
please hold on
we'll
to
find
this point. The point is, if you are married to someone, divorced by saying talak talak twice,
Three times.
then if
That's
you
not how
want to
talak
marry
works.
her, then if you want to
Talaq
marry,
doesn't even mean.
then
That's
if
not
you
how
want,
talak works.
then
What does talaq means? You know?
sorry, then if you want to marry her, she needs to marry someone else before this guy, the first guy, could marry.
Yeah.
Let us see what
Which
the God of the
verse is
Bible
it?
has to
Which
say
verse
about
is he
this.
referring to?
Baqarah 229.
229. Yeah.
229. And what did he say?
Say something about
He still haven't said anything. He's just saying.
So
So
what
about
we have
talaq.
got is different from
Let's
we
see
have
what the
there.
Bible has to say.
yeah,
This is
yeah.
very, very important.
Okay, go.
Prophet Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Prophet Jeremiah.
Old Testament.
But-
Wow.
Okay, but which
You're going
Bible?
to
But which
look at
Bible?
divorce in the Old Testament when your New Testament has actually forbidden it, prohibited it.
Hashim, can I please suggest to you something? You came a bit late.
It doesn't matter. Better late than never.
He knows about it. He knows about it.
By the way, do you know that in the New Testament,
Yeah.
And therefore,
in the New Testament, they're not allowed to divorce at all.
excuse me. No,
Not at all. Against all, Sheikh Mohammad, you're the perfect man for this.
That's irrelevant. Irrelevant.
He's talking about
I
talaq.
want to get on
I can't
to
find a better
something
person than you here.
What does Prophet Jeremiah reveal as what's in God's heart?
Yes.
Let us see if
It's
Prophet
okay, it's okay. We got
Jeremiah
Sheikh Mohammad
is
now.
happy with triple talaq. Yeah? This is what Prophet Jeremiah says, chapter 3, verse 1. They say, if a man divorces his wife,
229 Baqarah.
are you
Surah
listening?
Al-Baqarah.
Yep.
Yes, I'm listening.
Yeah. They say if a man divorces his wife and she goes from him and becomes another man's, may he return
That's the
to
verse
her
he's talking
again.
about.
May he
He's saying
even
the-
return to her again. And then it goes on, would not that land be polluted
Oh yeah.
greatly?
Salam alaikum. Which sister?
This is God of the Bible, Yahweh's
Say
judgment.
salam to them, mashallah.
No.
Oh, are they live?
Yahweh's
No, you're just taking
Torah,
video.
I'm talking about, my dear friend, Yahweh's Torah is what I'm talking about. God, Allah, Islamic Allah thinks, triple talaq, if you want to marry her again, then she needs to become another man's wife before you can marry.
That's not true, actually.
What does
That's not
the
true.
God of the Bible say? What does the God of the Bible say? God of the Bible says, the moment you have divorced your wife and she becomes another man's, you can never ever get back to her.
Okay.
I'll read the verse again, please, and then I'll let you
Wait,
speak.
What does it say in the New Testament?
No, excuse me. No. Let's put it.
It's prohibited.
I'm
Divorce.
going
End
to,
of.
Excuse me.
Except in adultery. Except in adultery.
I'm going to read this verse,
Yeah.
my dear friend. My dear
That's why they all
friend,
do adultery, to get out of divorce.
I'm talking about
In
the
the
Old
West.
Testament now.
Yeah.
Let us see.
Well, not all of them.
Yahweh of the Old
Not all of
Testament.
them, but you know what I mean.
Yahweh of the Old Testament, I'm clearly going to
Majority now,
demonstrate
we
is
can say.
clearly against the triple talaq. I'll read this verse again and then I'll let you respond to it. I'll pose a question and then you can respond to this, please. This is what Jeremiah prophet says. They say.
Will you just let him speak, or do we have a
they
chance as
say-
well?
I don't know. He
Because
wants to finish.
he's been speaking for quite a while now, and you haven't responded at all.
They say.
No, I'm asking what's in the New Testament.
By the way, he said that if she gets divorced,
Hashim.
then she can go back to her old husband. Sorry, the old husband by sleeping with somebody else.
Excuse me.
But that's not what it says in the ayah. Yeah. You see, he actually interpreted it himself rather than allow
I
the
didn't
ayah
interpret
to sleep.
anything. I read from your own Quran.
And the idea you got is very clear. Yeah. Look,
Anything?
look here. It
You
says.
can read that for
Look
yourself.
here. It says. And if he has divorced her. And if he has divorced her for the third time, that she is not lawful to him afterwards until she marries a husband other than him.
Doesn't give the same
And
message.
wait. And if the latter husband divorces her or dies, there is no blame upon the woman.
Did you see that?
Okay,
But until she gets married to another man.
Let me finish.
That's the point.
There is no blame on the woman
Sir, we have huge problems with you. I don't
and
think
her
you comment-
former husband for returning to each other. By the way, you know the former husband, yes, it doesn't mean this is a planned thing.
Hashim,
That in order for her,
if you're confident about your argument,
no, you have
me
spoken
finish
a lot.
my
You have
point.
spoken a lot.
Let
I've
me
seen you
finish
like
my
at least
point,
3 minutes
and then
here.
you can
You should give
confidently
everyone a
speak
chance.
it. confidently.
How long are you going to take? How much longer are you going to
Is
take?
that a problem? We're talking about serious stuff here.
Exactly,
Sharia,
exactly.
Torah. So if you,
Serious
I'm
stuff.
going to finish.
If
I'm
it's
going to
ser-
finish in a minute or so, and
Okay.
then pose the
Okay,
question.
we'll give you a minute,
And I'd
no
like
problem.
you to respond back. So, my dear friend, so the question. So, I'm going to read to you the verse from the Bible again.
He said he's going to take a
And then
minute.
I'm
Let's
going
see.
to, I'm going- again, yes. And then I'm going to ask a specific question to you for you to respond back.
Basically,
yeah?
he's saying about,
So
you know,
what
when
does
you
the
give
God of the
talaq.
Bible say?
Yes, exactly.
Prophet Jeremiah
It's
chapter
haram in
3
Islam.
verse 1.
We have to educate them
They
about this.
say, if a man divorces his wife and she goes from him and becomes another man's, may he return to her again? Is the question mark. How can he? The exclamation. Let me finish and then I'll let you speak. Yeah? May he return to her again? And then God comments, gives an answer. This was a rhetorical question. God gives an answer. Would not that land be greatly polluted? Polluted. In other words, Yahweh thinks once you marry someone, send her away, divorcing her, to get her back in any context,
We get the point, we get the
pollution
point.
of the land. God of Islamic Allah, other Quran thinks that's fine as long as she marries one more person
said that
and
already.
comes back.
You're repeating yourself.
Question to you. Question to you. How would you?
Is that halal?
Question.
Halal is haram.
The question to you. Question to you is,
Yes.
how would you reconcile these two very obviously contradictory commands or ideas or things in God's mind?
I'm not an expert in this. but
How
I
would
will-
you contradict? How would you reconcile these contradiction part?
I'm not an expert in this, but I will say, why are you following the Old Testament now when normally you don't follow the Old Testament?
That's not the
That's
question.
a very
You're
good question,
answering my
actually.
No,
It's a
but
very
you're-
good question.
you're
Not
not
answering my
New
so,
Testament.
When he
I-
feels
I
like
can
they go to
answer
the Old
that
Testament.
question. So,
No,
that's-
but I'm
Shall I
asking
put it
you,
this way?
Can I just ask? The New Testament is also part of the Bible, right? What does it say about divorce in the New Testament?
Yes,
That's
good
my
question.
That's also the Bible. So why are you separating both the Old Testament and New Testament?
Yeah.
Why don't you want
To answer you, what the New Testament says, the New Testament, for your information, is even more rigid.
So does it
Not
allow
more-
divorce or not?
Excuse me, Hashim.
That was the question she asked.
She
Does
has
it allow
asked a
divorce?
question. I have ears just like you.
Good.
You don't have to interrupt every now and then. The point is simple.
Don't-
Ask me a question. Your question was, what does the New Testament have to say about a similar situation? New Testament is even more rigid, not less
man.
rigid.
What's wrong with you?
New Testament is even more rigid. What does the New Testament say? The moment someone divorces a lady, apart from for sexual immorality,
Adultery.
anyone else who marries her is committing adultery, which is even more rigid. My problem is
In
this.
other words, no
My problem-
divorce allowed.
Excuse me.
Only in the case of adultery.
Excuse me. My problem is this.
What's wrong with that?
The God of my problem is
So
Yahweh.
sister, if a
One
husband
second,
beats
one second,
her,
one second.
if a husband beats
Excuse
her
me,
black and blue,
excuse me,
she
no, no,
cannot
no,
get
no, no,
divorced
excuse me.
unless she commits adultery.
No, let's not throw in very
That's the only way you can get.
peripheral points. Very points.
So even an 18-year-old, if she gets
That's a
divorced
very
in
peripheral
Christianity,
point. Very peripheral point.
she will be
Hashim,
called
I'm willing.
an adulteress.
So now coming back, let me remind you.
By the way, can we answer your first
I
question?
know what you're saying.
Let us
I'm
answer your
not
first question.
expert, Therefore, I cannot answer.
But
Why don't you
at least
delegate
see-
it to
no,
Sheikh?
one second.
Yeah, I know, but
But
the
do
thing
you
is-
at least see?
He literally
No,
just-
my dear friend, you don't need to be.
Your friend, but
No.
okay, cool.
Okay, so my dear, not my friend.
Just say sister.
So, my dear, not my friend. The point is, you need not be
Sister in
you
humanity.
You need not be an expert in either Sharia or in Torah to answer my simple question. The question is
Actually,
about
you do need
basic
some knowledge.
logic.
This is why he chose the Torah. He didn't
I
want to
know.
talk about the Bible
I
at
know.
The
all.
question is about basic logic. Islamic Allah thinks a lady, once a man divorces her twice, if she needs to marry him again, she needs to marry someone else. Before
It
she
doesn't
comes
say
back.
that in the Quran at all. This is
before she
called
comes
planned, and that is haram. This is called planned, and that is the one that is
So
haram.
don't
Whereas-
punish
Yeah.
the
In the
man
Quran, it
who-
says,
One second.
in the
Please
coincidence that
question
she
again.
gets divorced
Whereas
and she remarries,
Whereas Yahweh of the Bible thinks,
you have completely
man-
misconstrued the
a man,
Quran.
once he divorces his wife, could never ever get back to her.
Let's repeat
and
himself, this guy.
if he can get back to her, that would greatly pollute the pollute the land.
Yeah, but-
So how can you reconcile two irreconcilable ideas?
Can I answer that question if you don't
There's
mind?
only one way I could
Or maybe let's shake it out?
Only one way I
Okay.
could suggest, which is obvious.
So you're asking the question and you're answering the question. Wow. Adul,
please tell me how
get
you
down.
reconcile
You really need to get down from the high horse
Hashim.
and let other people respond.
I really.
Let's
please
shake.
go
Let's
for it.
shake come in.
Go on.
Let him respond. Sister, will you be? Is it okay if you delegate it to him?
Yeah, she can. Okay. How would you reconcile these two?
We don't need to reconcile the Old Testament with the Quran. We don't need to. Why should we?
I still know what you're saying, but I still don't know.
Torah,
Land is not allowed.
Torah,
Why is this copied from a Quran?
Sharia. How would you reconcile these two? These are obviously contradictory. How would you
But
reconcile?
why are you completely ignoring what you just said about New Testament?
New Testament
Where
is
it
even
says-
more rigid.
You just completely, even more rigid. It literally just said if she gets married again, the guy is committing adultery.
In other words, it's even worse. The point is, Bible.
So is
once you
it
divorce
right
someone-
not to allow the
once you
women to divorce
someone-
I'm sorry,
in a legitimate
No,
reason?
no, that's a long story.
Long story. Wow.
Hold on.
Excuse me, you are not.
Wow.
Islam is not the first religion to introduce divorce. So if you think that is the case, better read your
You didn't say
history.
that.
When did I say Islam is the first one to
You seem to-
introduce
you
divorce?
seem to
I'm
imply
saying,
that.
I'm saying a
You just
woman.
said, does it
I'm
not
saying
allow
in the
divorce?
21st century, a Christian woman
Question.
doesn't even have the right to divorce from her husband if he beats her black and blue.
Yes, please.
The only way she can get
Let the
divorced.
lady speak, please.
Yeah.
This is.
And
It's
that's a
not off
separate
topic.
issue, and
It's-
there is an answer to that. That's a separate
Let the
question.
lady
No, I
speak,
love
please.
it when
Thank you.
we're talking about killing children in the Old Testament, when it talks about not eating pork in the
You're
Old
not dealing
Testament,
with
when
the
it comes to
point
wearing
here.
hijab in the Old Testament. Oh no, that's
Exactly.
the Old Testament.
Push it under
You
the
don't
bus.
follow that.
But when they
New
need it-
You're
Testament.
dealing with your point now.
How am I not dealing with the
How
point?
can Yahweh of the Bible be the same as Islamic Allah of the Quran?
Did we say it's the same? We never said it's the same.
Obviously,
Strawman
they
argument.
have contradictory
That's called a strawman argument.
Not at all.
And it says
Who asked you?
Very good. So, would you agree in public that Yahweh, God of the Bible,
You wanna
is
come
not
in?
the same
Or you want me
as
to push you in?
Islamic Allah of the Quran? Would you be willing
Come
to
on,
agree
Sheikh.
that?
definitely not, because the New Testament says
Sister, let's shake answer because he
Yahweh
wants an
of the
answer.
Bible is
If he's a
not-
sincere man, he will ask. He will accept an answer from anyone.
dear friend.
So let's Sh.Mohammad come in. Yes, please.
There you go.
Yeah.
Why are you sweating now, by the way?
Hashim,
Calm down.
I'm terribly. You know why I'm sweating? It's called the sun.
I know.
You get to learn science. Hashim, yeah, come on.
By the way, it was a joke. So don't be so uptight. It was a joke. Calm down. You don't need to bring the sun.
It's a silly joke.
Well, people laugh, so they were not silly.
Oh, okay. So it's a good joke. Thank you.
Which one is it? Good or silly? Make up your mind. It's like the Trinity. You can't make up your mind. Okay, so answer the question to the Sheikh. He'll answer you.
So
Do you agree?
listen.
Would you? Okay. Now the expert here is going to answer for us. Yes. Now,
Without
did you
twisting
hear
it.
my question? Did you hear my question? sir?
Repeat your question, please.
So repeat. The question is simple. Quran,
standing
Surah
behind me.
2,
How will you get the
ayah
shot?
230 things.
Come this side.
So let me read to you, just so you say I'm interpreting, I'm giving my interpretation. Let me read what it says.
Actually, put this on you as well.
If he has divorced her, 229 it says, divorce must be pronounced twice. Divorce must be pronounced twice, and then must be retained, and so on. It goes into.
No, read it fully. Read it fully.
And then
Because
it
if you
says,
leave it out,
and
means
if he has
the
divorced
meaning.
her,
Okay.
then she is not lawful to him after that until she has wedded another husband. So triple talaq, the idea is you're divorced twice. Now if you need to marry the guy again, you need to be married to someone else before that. That's the Quran.
No, okay.
It doesn't say if you want to be
can
married.
clarify once I finish.
That is a plan.
The Allah, Islamic Allah of the Quran thinks you can get back to the husband, the first husband. Well, let me read to you what Yahweh of the Bible
Can I
thinks.
can I say
You
something?
can, you can once I finish.
Okay, yeah, all
and then
right.
I'll let
How
you
long
let you
it takes you to? Okay.
Just one and a half more minutes.
Okay.
So what does Yahweh of the Bible think? Let me read to you again. If a man divorces his wife and she goes from him and becomes another man's, may he return to her again? Rhetorically he's asking, may he return to her again?
Yeah.
Would not that land be greatly polluted? So Yahweh of the Bible thinks the moment you leave, you can't come back. It's a one-way street. That's Yahweh of the Bible.
Which means divorce
Clearly-
eternally.
No, one second. Clearly contradictory
Okay.
to the to
Which
the
is
Sharia.
divorce eternally? Are you saying this?
One second. Clearly contradictory to the Sharia as given in the Quran. The question to you is, there is I can see only one way to reconcile these two, and that is by saying clearly Yahweh of the Torah is completely opposite in character to Islamic Allah of the Quran. Completely. I'm not even talking about.
Okay, I think
Excuse me,
I
sir.
think I got the point.
Excuse me, sir. He's the
Okay.
expert here. He's
Okay.
the expert.
I got
He's
your
the
point. I got your
expert.
point.
The point is.
I got your point. I got your point.
One last
I got your
clarification.
point.
I'm not even saying they are different slightly. I'm saying they are polar opposites. Explain how else, if not
So
for
it's
the
Old
fact that they are
Testament, New
different,
Testament.
how would you explain this, please?
Okay. Now this is another problem. Can I? The question I will respond in the same way to you. Now, in the Old Testament, Yahweh of the Old Testament is saying to the people, to the Jews, that when the divorce is one go, there is no way to return. That's it. So divorce for eternal. So this one, and then we have another saying in the same Bible which you are holding, which is the Jesus of the New Testament is saying, no, you cannot divorce at all. Now here, can't you see there is again contradiction between this and this? Can you see that? Absolutely. Can you see this? Can you see there is someone is saying you can divorce, but if you divorce, that's it, is eternal. You cannot come back. And the other side is saying you cannot divorce. Now the question is Yahweh in the Old Testament, is he Jesus?
So are you
So that's the first question.
Am I not?
Yeah. So just want to know. Just want to clarify for me. That's called. This is called.
No, let the lady.
Listen.
Let the lady listen.
This is called clarification. Do you believe Jesus in the Old Testament is the same as Yahweh yourself?
Is this my
Yeah,
turn now?
just clarification.
No. You finish your point.
That's
and then
called
I'll clarify.
clarification.
You can have your questions. I'll answer together.
He's guarding the Old Testament.
Okay. So if Jesus in the Old Testament is the same one who's commanding his people, if you divorce, there is a divorce, but you cannot do it. Why Jesus changed his mind, as you said, because you changed his mind. Why he changed his mind in the New Testament, saying to him, no, you cannot divorce at all. How is that? Don't you say again that it's not just only against each other. You're talking about someone in the east and someone in the west. Now here, this is the question to you, and then we'll come back to my point. Now it's your turn.
It's my turn?
Yes.
No? Thank you. Thank you very much. So the main point you really need to know, which you should also note, by the way, you're expert, by the way, hasn't answered a simple question I raised, which is Islamic Allah doesn't seem to be the same as Yahweh of the Bible, and
never
they
said
seem
he
to
was.
be, they seem
never
to
said
be
he was.
polar opposites in moral character. He hasn't answered that particular challenge I raised.
Which one?
That's fine. No, wait a second, Ray.
Okay.
So you need to know that he hasn't answered.
But you haven't answered anything either.
I'm going to answer now.
Okay, answer now.
I just wanted.
Okay, answer me, and
then we would give your expert any number of chances.
One point by point.
Let us see if he ever answers the question. Now he asked me a question. And his question was, New Testament apparently says you can't divorce at all, and therefore to him that's contradictory to the Old Testament, and that is where he thinks that the New Testament God is not the same as the Old Testament God. That is his logical argument. Fundamentally, his argument is fallacious, number one, and it's incorrect in the verse.
He didn't make an argument.
Excuse me, Hashim. We
Okay,
don't
okay.
need your
argument,
comment.
man.
No problem.
We don't need your comment every now and then. Fallacious, incorrect statements.
don't need
there.
comments
Number
every now
one,
and then.
just so you know, the New Testament doesn't say no divorce at all. The New Testament says, oh yeah, ask your expert now.
Okay, the
New Testament
Now I'm
says,
just wondering, where did you get this
if
from?
you
Okay.
don't know, don't make a point.
Only in
Why
adultery.
do you make a point which
Okay.
you don't know and then wonder?
Continue.
So, what does the New Testament say? The New Testament says a man is not allowed to divorce unless there is sexual immorality involved. So,
Which is
does
adultery.
the New Testament allow divorce? Yes, it does.
Only in adultery. Is that right?
We do
Is that right?
not read your running commentary, Hashim. We don't need.
We don't need your
Your expert is here.
No, we don't need. You're the expert in the Bible.
I am.
Okay.
For
So
you,
be
your expert
honest.
is
Be
here.
honest and
Okay.
sincere
So
then.
you don't need
No
to comment
problem.
every now and
No
then.
problem.
Now, by all means, you can. But when it's your turn.
Be
So
sincere.
my point is this. So he incorrectly quoted the Bible. Number one.
No, he didn't.
Number two. Note the point carefully. You claim it's a contradiction between the Old Testament and the New Testament, and I'd like to tell you it's clearly not a contradiction. You have understood a meaning of contradiction incorrectly. This is the point. This is the point. Now let him listen to my argument.
Yeah, okay, I'm just-
When did I say stop listening? Can you stop being so uptight all the time, please? Relax. I know you're sweating profusely.
Calm down.
Relax, man, relax.
You need to calm down. You need to calm down, yeah?
Calm down. Yeah. Please.
Say Alhamdulillah.
One thing at a time.
Please.
Yeah, I'm listening.
The point is this simple, my dear friend.
Yeah.
God of the Old Testament does not want promiscuous sexual relationship. He does not want it. He doesn't allow it. That is the underlying point. And how does he enforce that in the Old Testament? Jeremiah, the verse that I read, exactly lays out that principle. The point is, if you are allowed to be married to one person and then go marry some other person and then come back to the same person, what that would lead to is basically a disrespect for the institution of marriage. Because you can go anywhere on. I'm just unhappy with him today. I'd like to sleep with him today. I'd go there and then come back to him. I won't lose him anyway. That's the idea.
Can we try?
You said 1.5 minutes. This has been 4 minutes
Can we
already.
try? Look, I'm not
Same
stopping you. I'm not stopping you. Can we use better terms, because we have sisters here around, and instead of sleeping, you could say having sexual intercourse, something like that. Try to use.
Don't worry about this. This is England. We are using reasonably sensible
Yeah,
language.
because the
Don't-
guy was shouting from
So
behind.
England has morals
I
too.
don't know what
Yeah,
others said. The language I used
Yeah, okay.
is very, very conservative. Don't worry about that. Yeah. So let's go back to my point. God
So
of
you're
the
not
Bible-
listening to the advice.
God
Okay,
of the
no
Bible
problem.
does not like promiscuous relationship. And that is what he says in the Old Testament. When Jeremiah says, how can you leave your husband and then come back to him? Would that land be greatly polluted? That's the point he expressed. And that is the same point Jesus expresses, except in an even more rigid way, which is you can't even go. Unless there is a sexual immorality, don't go. If you have differences of opinion, work it out. Now, consider this. Old Testament, New Testament, same principle.
Okay.
Same principle. And then comes along Quran.
No, it's not the same principle. It's not the same principle.
Now comes back, 1 second please. Now comes the Quran. Quran goes against this principle by saying, if you want to marry him again, go
doesn't say
to another man and then come back.
It didn't say
That
that.
is what
It
I
didn't say
call exact polar opposite and contradiction.
Okay, let
In
me-
other words,
let me-
please explain to me how Islamic Allah and the Yahweh of Torah could be the same God when obviously they are commandments of polar opposites. And I've answered your question. The God of the Old Testament is the same as the God of the New
you should
Testament.
repeat. Okay.
Same principle. Please go on.
Okay. Now, since my turn, yeah? Okay, that's good. At least I have the chance to
You are
speak
the
now.
expert apparently.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's Islamic side. That's what I'm planning to say to you. Now, Now going back to the same point that you say. Again, I will answer. By the way, I'm not running away from the answer. For us, we never claim, Muslims, we never claim that Allah is Yahweh. We never claim this.
Good.
Yeah, we never claim this. For you to know.
Excellent.
Yeah, excellent.
Excellent.
We never claim this.
Absolutely.
And
Very
as
good.
well, yeah, of course.
Very good. Thank you.
I don't need to do a high
We are
five.
agreeing on that, so thank you. Yeah,
You
go
don't
on.
need to comment as well.
we don't need
yeah?
your comment.
We don't need your comment. Yeah, we don't need your comment.
Practice what you preach.
Yeah? That's nothing. For us, Allah. Hold on a second.
It's part of you guys.
Now for us, Allah Azza wa Jal, Allah mentioned to us in the Quran, Allah mentioned to us in the Quran about His name. And He named Himself, Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, as Allah. And He named Himself as well revealed on the tongue of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, on the Quran or on the tongue of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Allah has 99 names of the ones we are aware of nowadays. None of them is Yahweh. And for us, yeah, very good, very good. I'm just helping you, I'm aiding you. I'm aiding you. Yeah, I'm aiding you. If that helps you, it doesn't matter for me. Because for me, I'm not someone who's hiding behind my thumb. Now going back. Now when I say to you that Allah, we never claim Allah is Yahweh. Because for us, if it's for us, how we deal with the Bible, how we deal with the Old Testament or with the New Testament, we deal with them as they are. There are hands being touched to them, meaning the hand of the people changed and removed and added and taken. So these things for us, our Prophet ﷺ, he said, we don't believe it totally. The Quran, the Bible that you have, we don't believe everything that it has. We don't believe even the names that you use, except the ones which Allah has confirmed in the Quran. Those are the ones for us are the truth. Of Allah, for example, we believe in Dawood alayhi salam as a prophet because Allah has named him. His name is Dawood alayhi salam, and that's how we name him. So the same thing, Allah's names in the Quran, those are the ones. Now, that's if that helps you. Now, going back to the point, again, you're saying in the Old Testament here we have a statement of Jesus, as you claim, which he was named Yahweh and then he changed his name to be Jesus. So he was saying in the Old Testament, yeah, that you cannot divorce. Simple as that. You cannot divorce. He said in the Old Testament that you can't divorce. That is permissible. So he permits the people to divorce, but there is no going back. There is no going back. It's simple as
No remarrying. Yeah.
There's no remarrying. Here, that's a statement. And another statement to say you cannot divorce except in one case, which is adultery. Now the question is, if a man, his wife is not adulterous, she's not adulterous, she didn't commit any sin, any mistake, yeah? But he keep torturing her, beating her, abusive person. He is so evil person with her. In Christianity, is there a way out? No. Is there a way out? He must be you, because maybe you do it. Maybe you do it. Because you're a criminal.
Serious matter.
A criminal like you. A criminal like you.
Let him go on.
Yeah, a criminal like you, a criminal like this.
Go on.
So here the question is, in Christianity,
is Paul as well.
is there a way out? Islam allowed the divorce, simple as that.
Yes.
Now, and for you to know, I will add to your information as well. So there are things in Islam, that things which was mentioned in the, for example, which was done by the people of the book before Islam, and Islam accepted it and kept it as it is. Because, for example, fasting Ashura, tomorrow is Ashura. The Prophet ﷺ, when he came to Medina, that the Jews used to fast this day. And then the Prophet ﷺ and the Ashura, the day, the Muslims, the Prophet ﷺ, he commanded the Sahaba, the companions, to fast the day. So it is, but directing it, the fasting in the way how the Muslims are fasting. That's one thing. That's for you to know. And sometimes as well, Islam as well abrogated certain commandments from the old scripture, abrogated it to be an Islamic ones. For example, eating the camel is prohibited in the Jews, amongst the Jews. It is prohibited in the Old Testament. Yeah? And it is mentioned clearly in the Old Testament that you cannot eat the ones with the camels meat.
And circumcision.
Now, and as well, for example, let's know the circumcision. Okay. Yeah? The camel's meat. So Islam came and abrogated this ruling. Because every prophet, when he comes, there are Sharia, which is the ruling of the time that he has. So that's one of the things. One of them as well, the divorce. In the pre-Islamic time, it could be that the case, if someone divorces his wife, it is done. It is eternally. You cannot return the wife back again. But by the way, for you to know, to understand the logic, of the Quran or the wisdom of the Quran, how the Quran deals with the thing. When there is a statement, if you read it clearly, how it says, yeah, if you read it, what it says that, simple as that, Allah is not directing the people to divorce 3 times. It doesn't mean you have to divorce your wife 3 times, and then after that she has to remarry again, and then after that. It's not like that. The meaning of it, that here the prohibition that they cannot come back to their husbands. So that's a general statement. If she is divorced 3 times, you cannot come back to their husband. Simple as that. I'm finishing. So you cannot come back to your husband. Allah is saying this, you cannot come back to your husband at all. So here it is exactly following, you could say, for example, the teaching which was there. But Allah Azza wa Jalla has made the way out. Except in one case, exactly that you said. You said, for example, in the New Testament, there is only one case that the person will divorce his wife, is the case when she is adulterous. It doesn't mean, do you know what it means? It doesn't mean adultery is allowed. It doesn't mean this. It doesn't mean, oh, I wanted to divorce my husband, or let me commit adultery. Yeah, it doesn't mean this. Do you understand the point? It doesn't mean in the Bible, for example, even though with all my respect to yourself, yeah? Now, when you read the Bible doesn't tell the people to commit adultery, yes? Yeah? No, I'm just finishing the point. Try to focus what I'm saying. The Bible doesn't tell the people to commit adultery, yes? And that's why here, but for the divorce case, here you have only one way to divorce is if I commit sexual intercourse or adultery. Now the question is exactly the same thing. Is this what he's talking about, the halal? The Bible telling me the only way out of this divorce is adultery? Is this what you are claiming? So that's what it means. That's what it means, the direct meaning. So here in Islam, no. In Islam, it doesn't say that. It's the same thing as adultery is prohibited in Christianity, for example. The halala is prohibited in Islam. How? Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, لعن الله المحلل والمحلل له.
Curse is the one
May Allah curse. May Allah curse the one who's doing the halala. May Allah curse the one who's doing the halala and the one who's halala being done too. So the Prophet sallallahu, he cursed those ones who are involved in halala. So here, what it means, meaning if a woman, she does 3 times, there is no, that means that's not going to work. So she married another husband. And then she waited for him until Allah, God knows. So after all this time, he dies. He may be they're gonna prove. And then they divorce. I'm just giving you the answer. So the audience,
this is the main point.
if you are not getting my point, as is the same as the Bible doesn't indicate the people to commit adultery, is exactly Islam doesn't indicate to the women to do halal. Is that clear? Is that clear to you?
Clear like the crystal. Can I please respond now?
Yeah.
I hope it's
Thank
clear.
you. Thank you.
Are you being sarcastic?
Thank you.
Or you actually understood it?
Thank you.
What do you? Can you
I see a big question mark on your face.
Wow.
Can you please?
I see a big question mark on your face.
Can I ask you a question?
No, you've asked many questions.
No. I wanted you, if you answered me, can you please repeat what you answered?
Yeah.
So repeat what you understood. So at least we are on the same platform.
I think he's
Repeat
got a
what you
question mark on
understood
his
from me.
face.
If you could repeat what you understood from me, or I could explain it again.
You would see
want the middle?
in my response you would see how I have understood yours. So don't worry about that. Yeah. So let me respond to all you have raised many points there. Let me begin. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for agreeing that Yahweh of the Bible is not the same. One second. Thank you for agreeing.
You know that guy been filming for 2 years that has a link to ISIS?
Yeah.
And them
So, no, that is very true, Raj. I'm with you on that. That's very true point. That's a serious concern we need to deal with now.
He has time for Raj.
Coming to
But when I say
coming
about
to
the
you.
topic, it isn't enough time. That's the double standards we have to deal with, unfortunately.
So, coming to you,
No one
my
is-
dear friend, coming to you. I really appreciate you agreeing on camera that Yahweh of the Bible is not the same as Allah of the
Yeah, we'll never
Quran.
claim,
If
yeah.
you can take just one more step and go around, talk to your Dawah teams to remove all material which says Muhammad, Moses, Jesus, Abraham, Moses, Jesus, Muhammad, as if they're all talking about the same God. If you go take
are
that
talking
material
about
out
one
of
God.
circulation, there'll be a material benefit to all of us. We agree on that. You are apparently an expert here.
That means you didn't understand what I said.
Exactly.
One second.
That means you didn't
I think
understand what I
they
said.
Let you speak.
I said we don't need.
I don't need complaints.
I said about the next.
My dear friend, I let you speak.
No, but you're lying about me now. I didn't say
Yes,
that.
exactly.
I'm not lying. This is a recommendation.
No, I
I don't
didn't.
need recommendation.
Let me finish.
for people to understand.
Let me finish, and then you can tell me
Okay.
that I'm a liar and all this.
By the way, he answered your main question. Did you understand that or not?
Hashim, thank you very much. If you have any doubt, you can ask him later. I have
I'm
understood.
asking you
I'm
because have
alright
you
with this.
understood it?
I can move
I
on.
think you
Thank
didn't
you.
Let's see if
understand.
you understood it.
Please, thank you. Now, going back. So thank you very much. Please go and speak.
He'll keep repeating himself now.
Please speak to
He likes
the
that.
Take this
He likes that.
material away. Now,
Maybe it's because he forgets. He likes repeating it.
point number 2, which is I can also tell you. By the way, I'm quite glad that you agreed.
See, I repeat
The
again.
law still is contrary to each other. Torah is polar opposite of Sharia, regardless
And
of
the
the
New
reason you
Testament.
give. Regardless of the
And the New
reason you
Testament.
give, it is still polar opposite. Regardless of the reason, I don't care what
No
the
baby
reason
killings,
is.
you're right, in
If
the Quran.
Yahweh
Absolutely.
of the Bible
Polar
does
opposites.
not like it, he can't suddenly change his mind and say, I quite like this is the way I like things to be. So
Okay, good.
point number
That
two.
helps me actually. Okay.
Contradictory to all those who are listening. Allah of the Quran is polar.
Yes.
Islamic Allah of the Quran is polar.
He never comes out to kill babies. You're
of
absolutely
Yahweh,
right.
To
Unlike the
Yahweh,
Bible.
to Yahweh of the Bible. Now there is only one suggestion.
He disagrees with you.
There is
The old man
there
disagrees
is
with you.
That's why I said Islamic Allah.
Islamic Allah.
The point is this.
It's just one God, one monotheistic God. That's
No. He agreed.
As a
that
Christian, if you believe in Allah.
I didn't
He
say.
agreed there are two
I said.
gods.
Let me repeat what I said.
Can you stick to the topic?
I could.
because we're monotheistic.
Let me repeat what I said.
Man, no, you
Let
don't
me
need to
repeat.
finish.
No.
You can respond.
No. You can't lie. No. You cannot listen. Did I lie about you? Did I lie about you?
After I finish.
Did I lie about you? I didn't lie. You lied about me.
Stick to the topic. I don't
You lied about me.
You
You lied about me.
No, I don't think you heard or understood.
You lied about me.
Once I finish,
You lied about me now.
once I
You are
finish,
lying about me.
you can say I am
You are-
a liar
no.
in your turn.
No. You
Once
cannot.
I
No.
finish,
If you lie about me, I cannot take it.
Once I
Listen, you
finish,
could listen.
my dear
Speak
friend,
about your understanding.
once I
Listen,
finish, that's
speak
what I'm
about your
saying.
understanding.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, speak your understanding.
My dear
Hold on a
friend.
second. Speak your understanding. Speak what you wanted to say, but you cannot lie about me. Do you understand? I said we never claimed as
now
Muslims.
you're taking
Allah, no.
Excuse me.
Allah is
Excuse
recorded.
me.
We
You're
never
taking-
claimed as Muslim. Allah is equal Yahweh.
My dear friend,
We never
you
claimed.
speak when you
We never claimed. We don't agree on the term, even we don't
You
agree.
speak when it's your turn.
Yeah.
I speak when it's
Don't lie
my
about
turn.
me then. But don't speak what I said.
If you think I'm lying, you can say
No.
that in your turn.
Harold, can you stick to
Listen.
the topic, please?
Harold.
When you-
Harold.
When you-
listen.
when you think
no.
it's a lie,
No, listen.
you
listen.
can-
We have to agree in terms, yeah? I cannot lie about you while you are here. You don't lie about me what I said here.
That's good.
So
If
what
you
I
think-
wanted you, just say I understood this, and then I will clarify.
whether I'm lying or not, everyone could evaluate. They can
Fine,
use their
I have no
intellect and
problem.
decide.
I have no problem.
You're calling-
Don't lie. Yeah, okay, now
Excuse me,
continue.
you're not God. You take your
Can you-
turn. When you speak, let others decide if I'm lying or not.
Can we stick to the topic, please?
I'm very glad for you to confess.
No,
on
I didn't
record-
say again.
On record, on
I didn't
record
say- I
that
didn't say that.
Islamic
Okay.
Allah is contrary, polar opposite to Yahweh of the Bible.
No,
I can-
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
You know,
I didn't
he
say-
just said
yeah,
Yahweh.
By all means,
I did not say
you
this.
can respond to me.
I did not say this.
Later.
That's a lie.
Once I finish.
Does the Bible command you to lie?
Once I
Does the
finish,
Bible command
you
you to
can
lie?
respond to me.
Does the Bible command you to lie?
Excuse me.
So,
That's what we believe.
okay.
Deal with it when
Once
it's
I
Let me
finish,
repeat what I
my
said.
dear friend.
Let me correct
Once I
it. Let me
finish.
repeat what I said. No. He lied. Do you lie? Does the Bible command you to lie? Does the Bible command you to lie? Does the Bible command you to
My
lie?
dear friend, it's a simple thing, yeah?
because
You think I'm lying.
Yeah, you are
I
lying.
don't think I'm lying.
You are lying.
So
You are
we
lying.
can do a simple thing.
No.
We can do a simple
I can't lie. Islam could prohibit me to
We
lie.
can do a simple thing. Once I finish, I
Don't talk about my wording, yeah? So they say this, I understood this. He said, I believe you said this.
Let others judge that.
No,
Let not the prosecutor be the judge also. That would be silly.
You can't lie. I can't
Excuse me.
take.
Excuse me. Let not the prosecutor.
I can't
be the
take
judge.
lies.
I'll move on now. Now, in other words, there has been confession from an Islamic side and from a Christian side about our theology that all those who are listening to what we have been saying decide for yourself. You have on the one hand side a
Come on, move on,
God
man.
who does not want
benefiting the discussion.
sexual promiscuity. He doesn't like it. On the other hand, you have a God who provides reasons, allows provisions, gives all sorts of lame excuses for the promiscuity to happen. So you decide for yourself which God you would like to follow. So now with that, let me move on to a comment that the biblical Yahweh makes, by the way. I'll go on, move on, and read furthermore. What did he say? Would not that land be greatly polluted? And then he went on. But you have played the harlot with many lovers, yet return to me. God of the Bible was merciful. He was saying, I'll forgive you, come back to me. But then he goes on to make this remarkable statement, which I want every single listener to take it to their hearts carefully. What did he say? Lift up your eyes to the desolate heights and see. Where have you not lain with men? Sexual promiscuity. Where haven't you done that? And then he went on, by the road you have sat for them, like an Arabian in the wilderness. Yahweh of the Bible, who knows all of humans deep down in their hearts, knows everything that they do in secret and in public, for sexual promiscuity, chooses one group as a prime example for the nation of Israel. And who are they? He says, like an Arabian in the wilderness. In other words, the only thing I'd like to comment to you is this, and I'll finish off with a question, and you can respond.
Nothing to do with the topic. What is
and the question.
By the way.
Excuse me. And the point, I'd make a point, and then I'll finish off with a question. The point is this. To me, it seems like Islam and Sharia is nothing but formalizing what Yahweh of the Torah absolutely hates, what he considers as irreligious actions, wickedness. That is what seems to be enshrined in quote-unquote religion in Islam. In other words, if at all the Bible would use any term to refer to Islam and Sharia, based on this example, it would use the term anti-religion. Not religion, but anti-religion. Because why did Yahweh?
I mean, why you jump all around?
Exactly.
Why did you jump?
What did
Listen,
Yahweh
stick
say?
to the point. Hold on a second.
Question to you,
I will
sir.
talk about the trees.
Based on question.
Just focus on the point.
Focusing on the point.
Focus on the point. Be quiet.
Focusing on the
Be
point.
quiet because you allow lying.
My dear friend,
I don't know how your fellow Christian believes you.
Focusing on my point. My point is simple. Yahweh of the Bible abhors the practices of Islam, sexual immorality, triple talaq, 4 wives at the same time, religiously, lawfully, and so on. Every one of these, Yahweh of the Bible hates. And the recommendation I have, to all of you, especially Muslims, is there is still time for you. Leave behind your religion. What you call religion is irreligion, anti-religion, wickedness, which you have just enshrined in quote-unquote a religion. And I would recommend, by all means, but give me just
What happened to the divorce topic?
and therefore, I come
He's
back to
jumping.
this.
He's jumping.
I could come back
Because
to
you know
that.
you were
Listen,
I come back to that.
Listen.
So the point is, the question to you, I'd answer my divorce thing in my next round because I've taken a lot of time already.
We have rounds.
But I'm going
The whole purpose of this talk was
I'm going to answer that. Now, because I want to give you time now, my point is simple. Based on what we have discussed so far, would you not think it is a good idea for you to leave Islam, give up on your Arabian irreligiousness and wickedness, and come follow Yahweh of the Bible?
No human sacrifice. Why should we follow that?
That's your question.
Okay.
Human
Arabian, where did the
sacrifice.
Bible come from?
Now for you to know.
But they didn't say Islamic, it said Arabian. Remember that?
Listen.
Arabian pagans were there. You know that?
Listen. For us to know, for you and for us to know, and for you as well to know, in Islam, when Islam came to who? To pagan, to evil, filthy people. They used to do all evil things.
Immorality.
Many immorality. This is nothing compared what the pre-Islamic Arabs used to do. It's nothing. They used to kill their own daughters alive, and I'm adding to your information.
Bury them alive.
They used to bury their own daughters alive. They used to not just that. They used to as well not just only marrying. They used to commit all kind of adultery. They used to commit all of these. But leave him. He's like a barking dog. Just leave
Don't
him.
you back him, that's the best thing.
So all of these things was in the pre-Islamic time, and that's why when Islam came, Allah has shifted those people from all this filthiness to Islam, to purification of Islam. Now the question is, you said, marrying 4 wives. You brought the marrying 4 wives. Okay, here about marrying 4 wives. How many Sulaiman did he marry? 600.
Evil, nasty, very bad.
So was he following?
God established his covenant with the last man.
No.
Yeah.
He established his covenant.
So now here, Jacob, how many did he marry? Jacob, how many wives did he marry?
So is this my turn now?
Actually, ask
That
one.
God in the Bible doesn't allow
So here,
all these questions is my turn.
So we have all these prophets of God who you claim they are prophets of God. They have married under the permission. What's
Numbers 31.
which is number 30? Here. Now here we have now kill all boys and kill every woman. Who's here? Now listen to this. Can read it because
I'll read it because it's
Yes.
okay. So this is what the lovely Yahweh says in his Bible. yes, who is
Are you
polar,
trying to jump
like he
from the
says,
topic?
No, no, no.
same topic, same topic.
That's what he did. That's what he did.
Yeah,
That's what he
sexual
did.
immorality
Yeah, sexual
included.
immorality.
Okay, so the lovely Yahweh in the Bible, who according to him is his role model, says this: now kill all the boys, yes, and kill every woman who has slept with a man, yes, but save for yourselves every girl, remember, from woman to girl, every girl who has never slept, that means all your virgin girls who have not slept with a man, save them for yourselves. So this is basically sexual immorality, because later on the same story goes that they saved how many virgin girls? 31,000. 31. I wonder what machine Yahweh gave them to detect virginity. Was there any detective? You know how they would actually have done it? By the age. So maybe 5 years old, maybe less than that. And they took them for themselves, which means for sexual pleasure. So these were sex slaves in this Old Testament. So, well, why would they take little girls and kill the little
Now
boys?
here.
Why would
Now
they
here
kill the
the
little
question
boys?
is-
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so one more point with regard to the immorality. In then, it says over there, also, with regards to the number of wives,
Yeah,
were they always one according to the Old Testament?
yeah.
It was not. So they were allowed to take more than one wife. In fact, God would say to people, like in the book of Samuel, that God will give you even more. And God will give the wives of yours to your enemies. So how can someone be cursed by giving his wives to someone else who are his enemies? That is also Yahweh's treatment there. And by the way, the most important thing is this topic was about divorce.
that-
What happened?
Now here,
Why
this
did
is
you
a
change?
problem.
Exactly my question. What happened?
What happened to you?
No, let him finish.
No, that's, I just asked him to ask him to read. That's all. I asked him to read
giving a lecture.
because I wanted him to
only way to
read.
make you understand.
Now the question is, because you diverted the conversation from divorce to all of these things that you brought, and that's why we had to bring. And related to morality, we have Yahweh commands people to kill babies. We have Yahweh command people. We have Yahweh. I wish we command this guy to shut up. Yeah, he has done all of that, and he allowed as well them to give their wives to their enemies. Do you understand? Do you understand the concept? So if you want to play this game, I have no problem for every time to bring another thing. So if you want to stick to the divorce,
Testament is the
if
worst
you want
thing
to
that
stick
can
to the divorce, we'll stick to the divorce and keep on that
Incorrect.
point. Yeah?
Yes.
So going back to the divorce, as I said to you earlier on, yeah? And there is something in Islam called usul, which means the fundamental principle to understand the commandments of Allah. Now when Allah Azza wa Jal is saying something, prohibiting something, then giving a way out, it doesn't mean it's allowed. It means it is prohibited until there is a way out. What's the meaning of the way out? Here when Allah has said, you cannot go back to your husband. Okay, again, if you start listening,
You're misrepresenting.
you know, you're misrepresenting
Are you done
Christian.
now?
No.
Adopted
When
son's
are you
wife.
gone?
Can you just respect the conversation? Otherwise, if there is no respect for conversation,
By all
you know,
means, I
didn't-
respect your
No, you
conversation.
didn't.
When you-
Did I? For example, did I ever laugh at your statement about?
Call me a liar in the middle of
Yes,
my
because
conversation.
you lied.
Is that
You
respecting
lied.
me?
Because you lied.
Is that respecting
Because you
me?
lied. You lied about me.
Therefore, just
Thank
stick
you.
to your point.
Thank you to remind me
Please
that
stick
you
to
lied
your
about me. Yeah.
point. Stick to your
Thank
point.
you for reminding me.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
By the way,
Now,
No problem.
now is your turn to tell him why he lied.
Now, what he said, he lied before. He said, I said, this is what he said. He said, I said that Yahweh is polar opposite to Allah. Here what I'm saying, I said we never claimed Allah is equal to Yahweh. We never claimed this. We said Allah has 99 names from the Muslim what we understood. These were the names of Allah. So we call Allah with these names that He named Himself with, or what the Prophet ﷺ has named His Lord with. Amongst us, we don't name Him Yahweh. Now, are you talking about the creation of the heavens and earth? If that's the same one, we are talking about the creator of the heavens and earth. This creator, the one God, the one who created the heavens and earth, the one who sent the messengers, we're talking about that one. Yeah, which we call them here in English God, you could say, and we as the title for him in Arabic is Allah, even used by Christian, Arabs, used by Jews Arabs, they use the same term Allah. What's the meaning of Allah? Allah in Arabic term means the one God. For you to know, it means the one God. That's what it means. Now, here that's to clarify to you. So that's why if Yahweh command the people to kill the children, that's not our Allah. Of course, this is injection. To command people to kill babies and children and all of these things, no, we don't believe this. We don't believe Allah will ever command such a statement. We don't believe Allah will ever command a person, for example, to kill an innocent baby. What the baby did? What the baby did.
Are you
So
done?
here, I'm done with this. That was your turn.
Good, thank you. So, okay, forgetting what was claimed earlier, at least based on what you've claimed now, let's
Just please stop interrupting.
Based on what you've just said now, let's look at this carefully again. So you are saying Allah of the Quran, Islamic Allah of the Quran, does not have a name called Yahweh. You are agreeing with that. Does not have a name called Yahweh.
Exactly.
To that, I'm adding one more point, which is Islamic Allah of the Quran has a contrary view to sexual promiscuity from the Yahweh of the Bible. You are saying they don't share the same name. I am saying they don't even seem to share the same nature. Contrary viewpoints, directly opposite, and therefore it's an obvious conclusion that they are both not the same. And that is where my suggestion to you is, once you have understood the point I am making, to go and tell all your Islamic Dawah friends, never ever to go around saying Muhammad worship Yahweh of the Bible. I didn't say you said that.
Who said it?
If you can go around and say Muhammad has no connection with Abraham, Moses.
No, that's not
No, we
true.
don't say
You
that.
didn't say that either. Strawman arguments as usual.
Excuse me. If you
I don't
carefully
stick to
know,
the topic,
I'm
please.
not saying you
a
say
second
this,
chance you're
you say
losing.
that. I'm just saying, based on the point you said, the names are not the same. You agreed?
Yeah.
And I'm saying the nature is not the same, and it's not just not the same, they are polar opposites. Based on these two, it's obvious they're not the same person.
We never said they were.
Yahweh is not
never
the same.
claimed they are.
Therefore, that's good. As long as Muslims across the world understand, Yahweh of the Bible is not the same as the Islamic Allah of the
I think he
Quran.
forgot that we think it's corrupt.
I think he's convinced himself now.
We believe it's corrupt.
Can I go back to a reasoning which you actually get? In your previous round, by the way, in your previous round, if you watch the video carefully later, maybe from your Islamic source, you gave a reason as to why your Islam or Muslims today are a bit different from Yahweh.
Did he say he was going to respond to the marriage about the divorce in his next turn? Now he's contradicting himself
Excuse me, sir.
because he said he was going to respond to the divorce thing.
Excuse me, sir.
He's not doing that in the second.
I am talking, this is
Chance
all
either.
related to divorce, the same passage, the same verse.
And then he says, "We call him a liar."
Yahweh of the Bible knows what he is talking about, and he goes on to
Yeah.
say, by the
Kill
road,
all the little boys
excuse me,
except
my
the
dear
little
friend.
girls who are
By
virgin.
the road,
You're right.
by the
Very polar opposite to
excuse
Allah.
me, Hashim, don't get desperate.
I'm not
By
desperate.
the
You're the
road,
one who are
you have sat for
repeating
them.
yourself.
By
19
the road,
times.
you have sat for
You
them.
believe that
Same point.
Like an Arabian in the wilderness. I made that point, and I'm sure
Ask
you
if the bar is over
heard.
there.
I'm sure you heard the point. Like the Arabian in the wilderness for sexual promiscuity, prime example.
Repeat.
And your point then, you gave a reason. You said you're now better, and the reason you gave was that they were far worse. They were so terrible. In other words, what you are saying is you are slightly less worse, but still worse than
We never said
the Tanakh. God of the
didn't say
Bible
this.
says it like this.
I didn't say this.
Or imply.
You
I
can
didn't
check it
say
out.
this.
You can check it out in your response.
Did I say, hold on a second. Now, listen, don't lie about me, yeah?
Say, leaving
Listen,
that behind.
Don't lie about me.
Leaving that
listen,
behind.
Are you
Listen,
the answer that
does,
you
Leave it behind,
does
leave
Jesus,
behind
listen,
now, you know.
does the Bible, seriously, does the Bible allow
Are you
you to lie?
interrupting now?
Does
In
the
my
Bible,
turn.
does the Bible allow you
Are
to
you
lie?
interrupting now?
No,
In my turn.
listen, don't lie. When I lie about you, interrupt me. If I lie about
not
you,
the judge here.
No,
What's
I
your
am.
name?
Don't
What's
lie
your
about
name?
me.
What's your name?
Please do not lie
What's
about
your
me.
name?
Do not lie. My name is Muhammad.
Muhammad, I am Arul, yeah. By the way,
Yeah.
you are
Yeah.
arguing from one side, I am arguing for another side.
So don't lie about each other. We shouldn't lie with each
neither
other.
of us is a judge here.
No,
I
you
am
shouldn't
making
lie.
a point.
I will not lie about you. Don't lie about me, please.
I don't also.
You can't.
So I don't. Let's not cry foul. Let's not be childish in this regard.
No,
Stick to the points here.
without being childish.
Can I-
Listen,
Yes, please
listen.
stick
In
to the
Islam,
topic.
Muhammad.
in Islam, or
Muhammad.
Christianity,
Can I
or
please-
Judaism,
this
or
is my
any,
turn, Muhammad.
lying is not allowed. Yeah.
Muhammad,
So
this
what
is
I'm
my
saying,
turn.
what I'm saying to you, can you
As a
stick?
matter of fact, my second point, my second major area, I'm not sure if we have time for that today. Maybe if you're here next week, we'll do this. Next week, God strengthening, God willing, no, not the next week, the week after that, God willing, I'd like to do a similar debate on lying, on taqiyya. Similar debate. I am going to say Yahweh of the Bible is the polar opposite of Islamic Allah of the
Okay.
Quran.
Yes.
Leave
And
this-
then you
leave
will
this
see.
now.
Now for now, Muhammad, just one more thing. For now, my point is sexual promiscuity of any degree is anti-God. All the women should know it, and all sensible men should know it. One wife is the only formal thing God Yahweh gave to his people. Anything beyond that, like in the case of Solomon, like in the case of Jacob and so on, were never approved formally, given as a matter of law. Well, let me finish. Given as a matter of law by Yahweh of the Bible. Nowhere would
Neither
you find...
Abraham, neither
One
Abraham,
second, one second.
neither Abraham.
1 second. Yahweh of the Bible,
Neither Abraham.
my dear friends, Yahweh of the Bible, nowhere would you find giving a rule or law to say, by the way, you can have multiple wives and be happy with it. Nowhere would you find that. Except in Sharia, in Islamic view, you have it. And that is another point I'd really like to make.
Even Judaism.
My point is this.
According to halakha.
Certainly, Yahweh of the Tanakh is polar opposite to Islamic Allah of the Quran, polar opposites, and I'd certainly recommend to you to come to Yahweh Jesus Christ. And that is the one who could give you life. Otherwise,
Okay.
women would be abused, there would be sexual promiscuity, and Yahweh would use that example again in the times to come on Judgment Day.
The same
I
one,
recommend-
the same one who command to kill children and babies.
I am willing. That's a
He's
good
the same
point.
one.
I am willing.
The same one.
Muhammad,
Is he the same one?
Muhammad,
Are you saying to me here? Are you saying to the audience?
I'm answering.
Yeah,
I'm
okay,
answering.
answer.
Muhammad, just like how we have had a detailed discussion about this particular aspect of Sharia versus Torah, I'm willing to have a very detailed discussion about all other challenging passages of the Bible, by
Okay.
all means,
Good.
in the future. The second one is taqiyya,
Okay.
lying, and subsequently everything else you want to take up as a challenge.
Okay.
I am willing to deal with that. I'm not running away from it.
That's fine.
I have committed my life to serve my God because He is worthy. And therefore, I can all my life give you all defenses that you need for you to safely come to Jesus Christ.
Which one?
The one who
Which one?
died came back alive again, Jesus Christ. He is the one who is
right.
able to save you, Muhammad.
Okay.
You need to come to Him.
All right.
But good to see you today.
Let me just finish conclude. Since you finished, let me conclude now here. Since you are here. Now you said come back. You said polar opposite is the same thing. Is the same thing with related. For example, in the Old Testament, between the Old Testament, because that's a conclusion. There is no response. Yeah. So in the Old Testament and the New Testament, God of the New Testament and the Old Testament is polar opposite. It's the same concept. You have the same manner. No, this is what it is. In the Old Testament, it's talking about the monotheism, the oneness of God. That God is one. That's simple as that. The creator of the heavens and earth. All of these ones, and as well the definition of God, that He is Almighty, that He is as well all-knowing, that He is all of these ones. And in the same time, the New Testament saying totally opposite to that. That God become weak. Instead of become almighty, He is the Almighty, the Creator. He cannot even... Listen. It's my turn. It's my turn. It's my turn. It's my turn. It's my turn.
In
It is my turn.
you
It is
don't
my
introduce new
turn.
points.
It is my turn. It's my turn.
conclusion,
It is my turn. It is my turn. I didn't lie about you like you said. It's my turn. Now here, so here in the Old Testament it's talking about something, and the New Testament is something else. In the Old Testament, allowing the divorce. In the New Testament, there is no way for the divorce. I didn't finish my point. You know, I could bring. Listen, I have many. Listen, no, I'm talking about the Testament. I didn't think.
You said you only stick to the topic. And
No, he didn't stick to the topic. He didn't stick to the topic.
Let's be
He did not
sensible.
stick to the topic.
Muhammad, let's be sensible.
So here,
In a conclusion,
in a conclusion,
you only wrap up.
now going back to the point. No, I'm saying you're saying about the polar opposite. So it is polar opposite actually between the Old Testament and the New Testament. In the Old Testament as well, allowing the divorce, and as well allowing in the New Testament, you cannot divorce except if they commit adultery.
respect you already.
Now here, and that's another polar opposite. So we have all of these contradiction, and as well you said you were serving the God. And when I ask any Christian person, and this is something which I just want to finish with this.
We can
Yeah?
follow up later, but you're raising
anyway,
many new points.
yeah, of course.
But later on,
anyway.
I'd like to speak to you. My dear friend, I think you need to come to Jesus Christ. He is the